Okay, I'd like to call the Museum Committee to order and ask anyone to declare pecuniary interest either now if it rises down the agenda. Information items, partner agreement.
Okay, so you'll see in the document there are two partner agreements. They're actually shelter-in-place agreements, and earlier about a month ago or so, I was approached by both a GC Houston Public School and Amabel Sobel Daycare, who runs a before and after school program, as well as potentially a day camp program at the school. And they have a requirement, especially through their license agreement, to have a shelter in place. So I worked with the acting CEMC here, and we drafted a shelter in place agreement that you have before you. So basically the agreements are specifically that. It's a shelter in place in case there was an emergency to happen at GC Houston, so that the staff and the students would use our facility for just a brief period of time until people could be rehoused. So there's nothing in regards to overnight stays or anything else like that. Okay. So that's just as information item. In regards to the advocacy report that you see, I did mention earlier that I was fortunate enough to be able to attend the Ontario Museums at Queen's Park on May 17th. There were 45 museum staff, volunteers, and this year there were community stakeholders also that attended in conjunction with the museum workers to have our specific meetings with elected officials. And predominantly what we were talking about is also the document that is attached as well, which is the OMA's Looking Ahead Strategic Document 2025. I was, again, fortunate to have 3 specific meetings, 2 with MPPs that are directly in our catchment area, and also 1 out of Barrie, which is also relevant to us as in terms of the RTO 7, which it makes up Grey, Bruce, and Simcoe. Again, the meetings were very productive, and there was the nice thing this year was we were able to focus on 3 specific asks. So what we are talking about is the renewed current museum funding model, which is the CMOG that we talk about in regards to renewing that funding strategy. The other 2 items were developing the province-wide coordinated approach to collecting and ensure collections represent the diversity of Ontario. So that is something that we are seeing and will be addressing in our own collecting plan. As the face of Bruce County changes, we also need to change our collecting policies and what we do collect. And then the 3rd element of that was the development of shared spaces or shared delivery and shared resources in regards to a framework of community hubs. So you're seeing a much more collaborative approach to all of this, which is really great. And then also the other element that adds in here is the Ontario Cultural Strategy Plan through the province, which we hope is being presented at some point this month, but I don't have a firm date as to when that will be presented. And then, of course, the Ontario's 2025 Strategic Vision and Action Plan is attached for your, it's a very high-level document, this piece, and through my work on the OMA Council, I've been working with the group in regards to this, and we have another planning session coming up the end of June to forward to continue the movement of this strategic plan for the museum sector. The business and sponsorship report, you're very familiar with this one. Really pleased to say that we're at 96% of the planned program sponsorship dollars. There's just a few dollars that are left in terms of programs, and there are later programs in the year that we're looking at securing funding for, but the funders have already been talked to, and we're just waiting to hear back. So progressing very well there. And then the final portion is our education and outreach report. So we're really happy to say our Bruce remembers the Soldier's Journey, the trunk, the outreach exhibit trunk, which is a bilingual exhibition focused on in particular the grade 10 curriculum, has been completed. So we have made our commitments to that fund through Commemorate Canada, and I've just finished the final report for that. So we'll be seeing the residual or the holdback, the 10% holdback on that fund. But really exciting, the trunk has already been in 2 high schools in New Brunswick and is going to continue on to another school in New Brunswick and another school in Quebec. And we will be rolling that out in the fall timeframe so that we can now capitalize on the new school year. But this is a piece that is really, it was an exciting project for us because obviously it was bilingual, so that was not something that we had worked on before. But it's a really great way to get our story out, but also to encourage teachers in their respective areas to really start doing some more history in their own, bringing their own veterans forward in terms of taking their stories and utilizing the material and the content that's in there. So we have, again, we're looking forward to the fall timeframe with that, where we'll be a little bit more active with that. And then the last piece in regards to the education report is our Eco Explorers program. This is a program where we're utilizing, a different part of the curriculum. We're utilizing science links in the curriculum. Again, it's more, it is an educational-based program. It's not based entirely to the curriculum. It is not a school program per se. It's a workshop where kids come in, and we're using the physical footprint of the facility as well as other areas around us as well, and working with some other organizations where we had hands-on exotics come in and talk about different animals from rainforests and ecosystems and things like that. So it's been a very popular program. And one that we will be continuing or looking to continue in 2017 as well. And that is the update for the museum.
Good,
with
thank
the exception of the June 16th opening of the Rise of Community exhibit. I know that you've all got your invitations, so I hope that many of you can attend. We're in the final throes of putting everything out.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Kathy? Robert?
That uniform, World War I uniform for students to try on. Do we just have the one uniform? Is it a full uniform?
It is, but this is a replica piece. So in the trunk, what we did was we had, when we were designing the contents of the trunk, first of all, if you notice, it's kind of a gray color, so we wanted to make sure that it was authentic from that perspective. It is a very heavy case, so that anything that's inside it is going to withstand the travel all over. But it was really important for us to put not only replica pieces in, but real artifacts. So the real artifact pieces are housed so that they're not going to be damaged. There are minimal pieces that are real artifact, but the uniform is replica. So similar to in the Bruce Remembers exhibit area, where you walk in and you see that you can try on those, the students and all visitors can try it on. So if there's damage to it, we have a secondary piece that we can replace pieces in as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Anything else? Kelly, just going back to number one, partner agreement report, should that be ratified by committee?
It should.
Okay.
Motion to, what's the motion, I guess? Or recommendation?
Through you, Mr. Warden, that committee give approval for the Director of Museum Services to enter into an agreement.
Okay. Mover and seconder, Milt, Paul? Okay. Any further discussions? All those in favor? Opposed, if any, that's carried.
Okay.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn. Paul, Robert. Again, July 7th and beautiful here in Kinloss. Don't laugh. If anybody forgets where they're going that day, it's going to be you.